Welcome to tonight's show. You're with Tom, Brian and Steve, and this is from the Sidelines. And as we do it every time this week, we're going to talk about the NRL that's just been played. Gentlemen, how are we this week?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah. Happy.
Yeah.
I think that's probably the first time in 2 years you've said, yeah, good, happy, and you said really good.
Yep. It's the first time in 2 years Tom's team's won.
How do you know it's about the football alone?
Yes. He just might be happy today.
We won the last 4 games. Anyway.
Yes. Highlights. Tom.
Yeah, look, I was at the game on Sunday, and I know it was a big deal about Jared. That's great. But what really was fantastic for me, I was sitting behind the goalposts. We scored a few tries, and as the players were coming back, Spencer Leniu, he was absolutely revving up the crowd. He was brilliant. He was and everybody standing up and clapping with him and cheering him on. He was absolutely fantastic.
Except they didn't pass him the ball when they were supposed to.
But that's okay. I mean, I guess they needed to mix it up because they'd done like 3 times in a row.
Yeah.
But he was and then he just off the fence. He was absolutely sensational. Yeah. Yeah. So that was a great moment, a great fun moment. Yeah.
Highlight for the weekend.
Well, a bit hard to pick a single highlight. I enjoyed the footy this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to every other week.
Well, some weeks there's some games that make me think and and question whether we need that many teams in the comp.
Yeah, that's true.
I thought there were a lot of really good games. As I have an extreme dislike of other codes of football, I was really pleased to see that the women's NRL women's State of Origin match outrated the Wallabies. That was pleasing to see.
Wow. Okay. All right.
So yeah, hopefully that will be the death knell of rugby union in Australia, and we can just get on playing league.
Sounds good to me. So, gentlemen, the 4 teams.
I can't help it.
The 4 teams have been announced for
Oh, yeah.
Vegas next year.
Yep.
Canberra and New Zealand.
Yep.
And Panthers and Cronulla.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
They had to pick 4 other teams that were...
I personally, I think that the clubs that won should have been given the opportunity to go back and build a fan base. But isn't
it about sharing around that base?
There were clubs who didn't want to go because it was too much of a risk and too hard for them, and they couldn't see it logistically. 4 clubs went, yeah, we'll do this. I think that those clubs should have been rewarded. That's my feel. I mean, for me personally, I don't want my club to go again, but I think that would have been fair. I think it would have been fair for those clubs that won to have been given the opportunity to cement and build a fan base.
And it's interesting this year they're taking 2 Super League teams from England as well.
And a women's game.
And a women's game.
Oh, is it women's origin or... No, it's just a women's game? Is it a women's game?
Test match. Gillaroos and England.
Oh, okay, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. The real fear is that they go from a brilliant start to just way too much at one go. Yeah. And that's the danger, I think.
Yeah, trying to do too much at once.
You know, and Canberra and the Warriors,
well, they're not your real sort of showpiece team. No, but Canberra works because they're the Raiders and they can link in with
but
Vegas
they didn't do that with our clubs either, though.
Well, they don't have Rabbitohs or Roosters over there.
They have Eagles.
They soon will.
They'll have Roosters over there.
Yep.
Chooks.
Yeah.
I'm nonplussed. Like I said, I would have liked to have... I think the winning team should have gone back. Even though that would have hurt me and my club.
I would have been happy with that.
Anyway.
All right. So let's move on to State of Origin. What do you think of the State of Origin teams?
Oh, I think glass houses. Jeez, I tell you what.
I got to say, I listened to those comments and I'm thinking, oh, come on, Gordo, you did actually do a little bit of that yourself.
Yeah, Gordon. Yeah, you're a bit on the loose side.
Yeah.
You know, Queensland, you're picking and sticking and all that kind of garbage, and you know they talk it up, and you know, and they kind of go, well, did you really? Because you know you've changed your team now twice.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of time for Gordon. I think Gordo, he likes to dig at every team that he doesn't like.
Yeah.
And it just irritates me.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think of the New South Wales team?
It would have been better with Latrell. but I think Brayden will be good.
He was in my team to start with, so I'm okay that
And
he's
you're
there.
upset about Olakuatu.
Yeah, I think Olakuatu. It's funny. Like, we lost, and I don't think we should have changed the losing side. I think that was the side that was there to win, and I actually thought they played well in the first game, despite the circumstance, the scoreline. The circumstances dictated that. Proved me wrong. Put egg on my face with the second game. So I would have just stuck as close to it as I could, personally. But I would have done that the first time too. So
I wouldn't have dropped him either. I mean, my comments on the weekend were the fact that I think sometimes for such a big body, he is a bit soft. And I think that of a few players, particularly Tom Burgess at Souths and Stefano at the Tigers.
A bit soft.
It's the aggression I don't see them.
Steve didn't see Olakuatu run over the Cowboys like 4 times in that match. And then for them to go, hell, we're not going near that again.
No. When I talk about the aggression, I'm talking about someone who, when they get bullied, they stand up and say, you're not going to do that again.
Yeah, well,
hit back harder.
I think he's one of those. But the problem is, I think there's a difference between edge and middle forwards when it comes to that as well.
Yeah, possibly. But anyway, we're comfortable with the team.
Yeah, we'll support him no matter what.
Yeah.
I'll even support him with a dud halfback.
Well, when we get one, I'll let you know.
Thanks.
You're a cruel man.
Always.
Yes.
All right, let's go on to the NRL. Oh, hang on, I've lost my app here. Let me just get this back up.
You should know
again.
the first game really well, Steve.
I do know the first game really well. I just had to remember the score. South Sydney Rabbitohs 32 over the Eels 16.
How good was that?
It was a good game. I was happy.
Oh, it was alright.
The Eels were really disappointing.
Do you really? I thought they threw a lot at South. I know you guys don't, but I thought they threw quite a bit at them. I thought South's defence was excellent.
Well, because Andrew Voss told you. Like 37 times during the match.
Okay, but no, I can make that
He's a
judgment
Rabbitohs
call
fan,
on my own.
Oh, who knows?
think
Every time South had the ball, oh, this is semi-final defence. I'm just going, oh, really? So, oh no, South's made a tackle. Oh, this is semi-final defence. The Parramatta, look...
You're in a mood tonight, aren't you?
Oh, no, I am in a mood because I don't think Souths were bad. Don't get me wrong.
Well, thank you. A point I was trying to make, but okay.
But they had 40 tackles in your 20 and couldn't score.
Because they had defence.
No,
Why?
they couldn't. They didn't throw anything at you.
I think
Mitchell Moses coming down the blind side on his own, trying to take on the winger and flick it back inside. When it didn't work the first 3 times, why did he keep doing it? He's a one-trick pony, and it showed.
I think that was the best defensive effort from South I've seen all year.
It was a semi-final defence, Steve.
I wouldn't know. We didn't play last year.
And Latrell played like a fullback for the first time ever. I mean, that was an average game for Teddy, but he actually at least... That would be an average game for Teddy, the way Latrell played.
Oh, please.
But Latrell at least played fullback. At least once.
You've got to get off this idea that a fullback has to play exactly the same way as every other fullback. They don't. No. Greg Inglis never
there has to be
played the
some
same way.
resemblance of fullback in the fullback.
Well, he did it.
Today, that game. Not for the last 3 years.
So Parramatta, gentlemen, they've announced their new coach.
Yes.
Jason Rolls.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know what he's like as a coach, to be honest, because he's been an assistant. So
I think he's probably the best of who they were looking at.
He's got a good pedigree in terms of who he's been under, but it remains to be seen.
It's tough, isn't it? And Mitch Moses has come out and of course made another stupid comment saying, "Oh, Trent Barrett got to me to where I am now," and I'm just going, really?
Wow.
Why? I don't understand the love for Trent Barrett.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I'm sure he's a great bloke and all, but I don't understand that kind of comments. And then having a guy who's been the assistant and then hasn't had a particularly successful tenure as head coach, and then the players coming out and supporting him, mate, hopefully this is cracks in the shell and they're gone. Because the best thing about this game was that it put Parramatta dead stone motherless last.
Gold Coast tight. I'm going to move off this because you're going to get some hate mail very soon.
Oh, I always get hate mail.
Gold Coast Titans 20, Cronulla Sharks 16. Are the Sharks doing what South did last year?
Sharks are gone.
Oh yeah,
Man.
particularly in view of Nico's injury, which could be lengthy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't often agree with Buzz Rothfield. Let me just think of a time when I have. I haven't.
Didn't have to think long, did you?
Nope. But he makes a valid point that the club seems to be lacking some leadership, on-field leadership, and that doesn't come from necessarily your flashiest, greatest players.
Well, they did lose Finnegan earlier in the year.
Who, admittedly, I mean, I know that you're a big fan. I was not a fan of. He was just a workhorse. But obviously there was something in the way that he played and ran that team that made it his, and I think that the Sharks are missing that.
I would have thought McGuinness would be that kind of man.
Good leaders are not only on the field but off as well. You don't know what Finnegan was doing at training, in the sheds, all that sort of stuff. And that's where a good leader stands up. And I think they're lacking that at the moment. They've got good leaders on the field.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. Yeah. So when you're talking about Cameron McGuinness and a few of the others, they're good leaders on the field. You don't know what they're like off. Yeah. And they need to step up to that. So, But I thought the Titans were excellent.
Titans are very, very good. Des has got him humming.
Des has got him
He's unlocked Fafita, who is playing probably as good now as he's ever played.
Who never got picked for State of Origin.
Not good enough ability to play State of Origin, but that's okay because Queensland is sticking... Oh, hang on, sorry, glass houses and all.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Suncorp Stadium. Penrith Panthers 14, Broncos 6.
It was a dour game, wasn't it?
It was a very average game, I thought. Broncos didn't throw a lot at them. They started out okay, but just never really had. And you know what? People are saying, well, they don't have Reynolds, but they've still got a pretty good team.
Yeah, Man did a lot of defence, good defence actually, but I think he was pretty stifled in attack, and that was probably thanks to the Panthers, I think. But they just do what they do, the Panthers. I mean, there's no flash at the moment because they haven't got Cleary, but you know they just get the job done, and
Damn, they're a good team.
I thought Reece Walsh was really good in the halves because he had to be when Jock Banger went down. I thought he really took the bull by the horns and really tried hard to get his team going.
Yeah.
I can see him one day making that transition like
half of 5'8".
Like I don't know, but the what was his name? Darren Lockyer. I could see him making that Lockyer transition to halves later on in his career, I think.
Okay. Interesting.
You heard it from me. Look back in 5 years' time.
We will keep this message for 5 years.
5 years?
Put it in a time capsule.
And throw it out. Yes, that's right.
So on the weekend, on Saturday night, we had 2 Golden Point games. The first one was Dogs 13 over the Warriors 12. The Warriors had 3 or 4 attempts to win this before the Dogs.
Well, so did the Dogs.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, what annoys me...
Murdo missed like 3.
Yeah, I know, but
what
not straight in front.
That they're hailing Burton as some kind of saviour to their team. But if I had enough goes, I'd probably kick it over as well. You know, so seriously, he had like 3 or 4 chances, and they weren't all hard, and he still missed them, and he finally got one.
That came off the upright.
That came off the upright.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty average game.
I was surprised the Warriors didn't win this because in Golden Point they did have 2 or 3 attempts in front.
Yep.
Well, with little pressure on them.
It shouldn't have gone to Golden Point because there was an incident with a minute or so to go that should have been a penalty to the Warriors.
Can you describe it to us?
Was it Jamin Salmon? Came up and hit a player off the ball with his face.
Well, okay, so
he passed it, Steve. That's a penalty every day of the week. It wasn't a penalty because there was a minute to go. That's the reason.
Well, if that's the reason, that's not good enough. But it was a head clash, and I know people are saying, you know, it should have been a penalty, but it was a head clash. We're not going to.
No. I'm saying it was late. It was a penalty.
Oh, you're saying because it was late?
Yeah,
okay.
I get head clashes, and you know what? I'm in two minds, because, there's since the Taylor May one, and it was like, oh, you have to bend your back and you have to do this and you have to do that. Yeah, all right, I get all of that, and I'm happy to let the rule makers make the rules.
Yeah.
But after a bloke passes the ball, you can't take 3 steps and then accidentally hit him in the face.
Yep.
That's to me, that's clear as mud. You just can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
So I'm
not
not denying it was accidental. I'm not denying, like, he certainly didn't mean to break his jaw by colliding with the guy. But you can't take 3 steps in after you pass the ball and then go, oh, well, it was an accident.
Yeah, look, I agree. If it's a penalty at the beginning of the game, it should be a penalty at the end.
I certainly think it was. So I actually thought the Warriors were pretty hard done by. In saying that, they didn't deserve to win either. They didn't throw that much at them. And the Dogs were, particularly in the first half, their defence was really, really good.
Oh, their defence has been exceptional. They just can't score points.
Yeah, they're still having trouble scoring points.
Yeah.
Melbourne Storm 40, Tigers 28.
And this game was pretty close for a while.
Yeah. The Tigers scored 28 points against the Storm.
I know.
That surprises me.
Which makes me think if they were playing a top 8 team, Melbourne, then they would have been in big trouble.
Well, I hope you're right. We're going to find out in a couple of weeks.
We're both going to find out in a couple of weeks.
Now, Stephen, there's an incident there that you and I have been arguing about on a social media platform.
Our social media.
A social media platform where we have a page.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Well, I insist that sin binning was accurate and fair.
Oh, yes, this is the one where Warbrick got taken out.
Yeah.
That's because you're becoming a rugby union supporter.
No.
You want to play the game in skirts.
No. You know what? I'm happy. I'm happy if the bloke catches the ball and then gets belted. I'm happy if there's a contest for the ball. What I'm not happy about is having no intention of... He did not know where the ball was. He only looked at where Warbrick was, and you said he could have avoided... You said, what's he supposed to do? Where can he go? You cannot run 15 metres into a bloke.
Okay, let me ask you a question. You ever played the game?
Of course.
Did you ever make mistakes?
Yeah, of course.
Did you ever not get to the ball when you intended to get to the ball?
Yeah, but he was...
Yes. Or did you get to the ball every single time when you were trying?
All right, yeah. No. So I missed it, because I'm fat, old and slow, and I was fat and slow then.
So when you were trying to tackle, you missed a tackle?
Yeah.
When you tried to catch a ball, sometimes you dropped the ball?
Yep.
Sometimes when you jumped for the ball, you actually didn't get it?
Yep.
Okay. So why
all of that's legit. Yeah.
So why should he be held to perfection?
Okay. No.
Okay, so
who said perfection?
You are.
No, I'm saying he saw the ball was getting kicked to Warbrick.
He ran for the position to catch the ball.
No. If you
ask me the question, you got to let me answer.
No, because you made your point. Let me make mine. He did not once look at where the ball was. Not once.
At the beginning when it was kicked, he did.
Not once.
And then
the only thing he was interested in, because he'd been out-jumped twice before, was taking Warbrick out.
He had his back to Warbrick when Warbrick jumped on, because that's how he bent his neck forward.
I think he was protecting himself.
Possibly.
And the point is, if you make light contact with the head, you get a penalty.
Well, then it should have been a penalty to them, because Warbrick hit his head.
Oh my! You need to learn the rules.
If you make contact with a guy in the air, you are going to get penalty.
He didn't make contact. The player jumped into him. Have a look at it. If one of them's got momentum and the other one comes over the top.
Try those.
Sorry.
Oh my goodness!
You have a look at it closer.
Wow. That's
if you as far as I'm concerned, if you jump into a player, if you're running and you jump up,
so Warbrick's going for the ball and someone grabs him from behind and takes him out.
No, that's
yeah, but you can run in deliberately, not looking at the ball, just to attack the player, and that's okay.
He didn't attack the player; he had his back to him.
Oh, please!
He had his back to him. Have another look at it. He had his back to him, and
You
Warburton
are
came over the
Because I
top.
think he was panicking, and the net result anyway is he took the man out. That's all
the
that
only,
matters.
the only
That's all
option
that
for
matters.
him, the only he didn't play it.
He
The only
did,
option
he
for
did.
him then was
I
to
would have
stand
awarded a
aside.
penalty try and then binned him.
Yeah, well, that's why you should go and follow rugby union.
Well, you can't do both of those.
Well, yeah, you can. You
Yeah,
should
you-
be able to.
Go to rugby
Oh
union.
my
You'll
goodness.
do better.
You should be able to. So you want to change the rules.
Man,
Yeah, I do. If you deliberately take out an attacking player when they are about to score, you should be binned,
didn't
and it should be
deliberately
a
take
penalty
him out.
try.
All right, moving on.
Manly 21, North Queensland 20. Let's move on to the next game. Sydney Roosters 42. The Dragons 12.
I just want to say that that fantastic halfback that we've just signed couldn't kick 3 field goals in front.
Yeah, good job. It's not often you see a score where the worst team wins.
Yeah,
'Cause we
Manly
were
were
not good.
average.
We were very average.
Yeah. What was the completion rate of that game? For Manly, about
70.
Oh, was
Did we hit 70%?
it? I didn't think so.
Tom's got it here now. It was woeful.
It was poor.
But yeah, and my mate Tom's come back. Tom's played in the centres.
I'm so glad he didn't get
was
picked for
shocking.
State of Origin.
He was shocking.
Tom made 23 tackles out of 23, so he had no misses. Tom made not very many metres.
Yeah, I was going to say
70% completion.
70. We got to 70.
we got to 70. Okay.
72.
Man, that was.
But look, again,
But a win's a win.
Jerry Evans stands up. I mean, it's what
Oh,
makes him such a wonderful player.
Oh,
really.
yeah.
And he was filthy. They interviewed him after the game. He was absolutely filthy with himself for missing the first one.
The first one, yeah.
You want those kind of people in your team, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
You want people who are
He's
just
total-
perfectionists.
Total
you know?
professional.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
For sure.
how do you miss a couple of field goals
Yeah.
right in front,
Well,
but you're able to kick a 2-point field goal
Yeah.
from 40 odd metres out?
hang on. Who kicked their field goal from 40 metres out?
That was Drinkwater.
Drinkwater.
Right. So you tell me why in extra time it didn't go back to him.
Yeah.
He's
He
on
missed one, didn't he?
song.
He missed one, didn't he? Though? I think he missed one. And,
Uh,
and Townsend missed 2.
Just
or 3.
they were horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were.
They were horrible.
They're big.
And Valentine
big-
Holmes missed one as well, which honestly was an even easier shot than some of the
Val
others
missed-
they were
yeah,
having.
and interestingly,
Drinking didn't miss one.
Andrew Johns has said that he reckons the Cowboys are the dark horse for the premiership. So
Oh,
I don't
no.
know where that's coming from.
No.
In this game, there was exactly the opposite scenario that we were talking about, where both players were actually going for the ball, like looking, there's the ball, we're leaping for the ball, and somehow we didn't get the try from that. With Jason Saab should have scored 4.
Why?
Because he didn't... How can you rule it was an obstruction when he actually physically was reaching for the ball? Like that was
Yeah.
pathetic. Like that was the dumbest officiating decision of the weekend.
No, there were some pretty dumb ones over the
Well,
weekend.
all right, I reckon that was because that only cost my team a win.
Yes, I know.
And we didn't win or winning so much this year.
I know. But the sin bin was overused
No.
again this weekend, and
no, I don't
it's
think
driving
so.
me crazy.
Oh, yes,
driving
it
you
was.
crazy.
Absolutely was. Yes.
Driving you crazy.
No, not.
All right,
In
let's
fact,
go.
I don't think he should have been binned. I'll be honest with you. I don't think he should have been. But we'll
Yeah, but
talk
Steve
about it.
doesn't think there should be anyone in the bin, so he doesn't count. He's lost.
Well,
his,
not
he's,
when you
he's
tap-
lost his objectivity.
Not when you tap players on the head or when you... Please, come on.
You've lost your objectivity, Steve.
Okay, now, we're going to talk about this next game. Barry, one of our avid listeners,
Yes.
has said we don't spend enough time on St George.
Okay.
Well, they don't win. They've played the Roosters twice and had 100 points put on them.
Well,
Like, what do you want us to talk
Well,
about, Barry?
now I'm just wondering if we should actually be even talking about St George, because how long does he want to talk about St George after being beaten 42-12?
No, let's talk about St George. Can we talk about St George first,
Sure,
Tom?
go for it.
Steve,
Yep.
the game was
42-12.
the Roosters beat the Dragons.
Yes.
Let's think of a Dragons highlight. You scored twice.
Scored 12 points.
Is that where it ends? Because they were very average.
He really likes you. Don't be too mean to him.
All right.
All right.
I'll
Anyway,
shut up
let's
then.
talk about the game. Let's talk about the game. I mean, what was it? 14-6 at half time?
Yeah. Yeah, 14-6. Yeah, and look, again, I think I said to you both on Messenger that this resembled the Eels game that we played, where we put on, I think, 16 points at the beginning of the game. Then they came back to 18-16, and then we ran away with it at the end. It was almost a carbon copy of that. So that's a worry. But the Roosters are in exceptional form at the moment. Their attack is really good. The defence is excellent. Jacob Little, I think, was the end of the half. The Roosters were probably a bit fatigued, and Radley missed his assignment. It was a barge over. He just ran over from dummy half. The other one was a reasonably constructed try. Poor old Radley put his body on the line and got knocked senseless, and he's missing. Well, he won't miss a game because it's the 11-day turnaround and we've got to buy, so that's okay. I just thought that the Roosters have been exceptional in attack. I mean, Lindsay Collins absolutely works his tail off. Seriously, for a forward to be in the positions that he is sometimes to defend, he just goes up above and beyond.
Yes.
And Teddy had an absolute 9 out of 10 game. He was exceptional.
He was almost as good as a troll this weekend.
Oh, please.
Nearly as good as Tom.
Teddy buried both Latrell and Tom.
Tom was playing the centres.
Excellent. Look, it was a great game, and like I said, Spencer Leniu was brilliant. It was a great, as everybody said, Jared had a typical Jared game for his celebration. He played hard. He stepped over the line. He got binned. He got bleeding out of the side of his head. And look, it couldn't have been. I couldn't have been happier for him in the sense that
let's talk about that binning. Was it justified?
Look, I can't see enough of the angles to be absolutely sure. He got his arm around the guy's head. I don't think there was any swinging motion.
I actually don't think he hit his head.
He came up from behind. Well, he's at the judiciary tonight.
Yes, I know. They're trying to drop the grading.
Yeah.
He won't get off. Well, actually, he might.
I don't think he'll get off, but he might get a downgrade. Which
but if he gets a downgrade, it'll be a fine.
Yeah, I thought he might get a week or two.
If he gets a downgrade, it's fine. That's it.
Well, let's hope, because I know that they've looked at a couple of incidents, the Roosters, and they've said, look, the way judiciary is going, we don't think that we can defend this, and they must obviously feel that they've got some confidence in this.
Well, because I'm not sure, and I haven't heard it that he actually hit the guy in the head. I think even the ref said he hit him too hard.
Yeah.
But I know they actually said he hit him in the head, so I'm not sure.
And he came from behind, so I think he was actually trying to bear hug him really, and he may have made contact with the head, but anyway, I think it was a great celebration for him, and the Roosters are flying, and I'm really, really happy, and they can get better, so I'm happy.
I'm not sure they can get better.
Oh,
I think they're I think they're at the top of their game. I'm not sure.
I think the wheels are about to fall off personally.
Hysterical.
And what gives you that idea?
Well,
what did St George throw at them to make you think that was going to happen?
Well, so St George threw nothing at them and still scored 12 points.
Okay, all right. Sorry, Barry, we've got to move on. There's nothing more to say, do you? Oh dear, where are we? Okay, and the final game was Newcastle Knights against the Raiders. The Raiders are gone.
Yeah. Well, the Knights did everything they could to lose that game, and they still couldn't win. I thought that was a pretty average game. There wasn't a lot to like about either team.
How did Ponga go? Because I was driving home. I was driving from home.
He didn't play.
Oh, didn't he?
No. So Billy Slater, who thinks players need to be informed, picked a bloke who hasn't played all year.
Yeah. And dropped Jaden Sewer, by the way.
Glass houses.
Didn't Ponga play last week?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought he actually played.
No, and as I say, he dropped Jaden Sewer, who I think has been playing really well.
Fantastic football.
And played really well in Game 2 for State of Origin, so I don't know what Billy's doing.
Yeah, well, let's hope he's...
Anyway, the Knights, Bradman Best had a good game.
Yep.
For where he was. The young English halfback continues to impress a bit. Will Price.
Yeah, he's been playing well.
He's been very solid.
Did he swear today after the game?
No, I don't think so. Unless they can report it.
Yeah, but the Raiders just couldn't put it together.
All right, gentlemen, who's doing the ladder? Because the Dolphins had the bye.
My turn.
I did my ladder, Steve. Just so you know.
Your
I did my NRL ladder predictor.
Predictor, yeah.
Yes, And
Manly win the premiership, of course.
oh, because we win the premiership.
Well, see, when I did mine, I never did who's going to win the premiership.
Neither
I just
did
put
I.
the top 8.
Yeah, same.
And Bunnies made the top 8, by the way.
But the Bunnies did not make my top 8, but the Roosters did.
The top
Just so
8.
you know. Yeah.
Well, that's very
That's comforting.
You
That's
made in the top 4 in my ladder predictor, just so you know.
Oh, that's nice.
That's very hateful of you.
It's not very hateful.
All right. Storm sitting alone on 30 points at the top of the ladder. The Panthers are second on 26. The mighty Roosters on 24.
Are equal with the Sharks.
Equal with the Sharks. But we're on the way up. They're on the way down. So that's your top 4. Bulldogs 5th on 22. Dolphins also on 22, had a bye. Eagles 21. Cowboys 20. Knights also 20, just out of the 8. Dragons 20. I don't know how they're in 10th position, to be honest. The Broncos, Raiders and the Rabbitohs all on 18. That brings you down to 13th position, Steve.
But 2 out of the 8.
Yep, keep going.
Warriors 17. The Titans 16 points. The Eels 12 points. And the West Tigers. So the Eels are not on the bottom. The West Tigers are on the bottom on 12 points.
Excuse me, after the first game they were.
We're talking about now.
Yeah, but after that first game, the best thing about that first game was the Eels were at the bottom. Now they're second.
The end of the round.
You know what I'm finding strange in all of this whole ladder, is the Broncos sitting in 11th spot on 18 points, equal with the Bunnies, by the way.
Yeah, and you think look at the season that both teams have had.
Yeah.
You'd say that the Broncos have done much better than the Bunnies.
Broncos are still $13 favourites to win the comp.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to next week's games. KO Stadium. Yeah, that's which
We can have
weekend?
a rest.
Sorry?
No, we're not playing.
Who's not playing?
The Roosters.
Tom's having a rest.
Oh, you just want to go home now?
So can I just say, the last 2 weeks of footy tipping, I've got a grand total of 1 wrong, and that was the Cowboys upsetting the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys have to listen to me.
Listen,
I carry weight now.
I am so far behind. In fact, Tom is only 2 wins ahead of me.
Am I in front of you?
Yeah, by
That's
2
a miracle.
wins.
That's a miracle.
Well,
I'm in front of
actually-
anybody.
It was only because of last week. I think before last week we were equal.
So yeah, so just let it be known, I'm flying high with my footy tipping.
Yeah, but excuse me, where are you on the tipping ladder though?
Oh,
Third.
you're
Third.
5th, aren't you?
No, with the perfect round, I think I've jumped up one.
Oh, have you?
Okay.
Just,
Well, while you're doing that, I'll go
Yeah.
on to KO Stadium where the Dolphins are playing the Bunnies on Thursday night.
Interesting.
what's interesting about it?
Well, the Dolphins
Well-
are actually favourites for this game.
Well,
Yeah,
as they should be,
You're
but,
missing Cameron Murray.
and Latrell.
And Latrell's already out.
Hang
But,
on.
yeah.
Hang on, can I just say, I'm 1 win off second.
Dolphins have had a bye. They're missing
Missing
Kaufusi.
Hammer,
Kaufusi.
Kafusi.
Jeremy Marshall-King.
Yep.
Oh, I'm going the Bunnies.
Yeah.
Who've got no Latrell and no Cameron Murray.
Well, they'll get Jai Gray back one day.
Jai Gray's playing, yes.
Yeah, look, I think the Rabbitohs might get this. There you go.
Oh.
Surprise.
Well, I'm going Bunnies as well.
Wow.
Unanimous decision.
Clean
I'm
sweep.
thinking I might need to change.
Sharks and the West Tigers at
Oh.
PointsBet
This
on
is
Friday night.
this is tough.
Yeah, because Atkinson and Trindle aren't bad. I give the Tigers a bit of a chance.
If the Tigers play like they did against Melbourne, they can win this.
Yeah.
So no Jack Williams, no Nico Hines, no Talakai.
Yep.
That's a big 3 to be out.
Yep.
And
Cameron
McInnes. too.
McInnes? Yeah.
He'd be on the bench. Is he on the bench of reserves or something?
No, he got dropped.
Why would you drop him?
Well, I don't know.
That was
Ask-
the other thing I was
ask Madge.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
I don't know.
Cam Murray took his place there.
Yeah. You're going to go Murray or McGuinness. You're going to go Murray.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going Tigers.
Yeah, Tigers.
I'm going Tigers too.
Wow.
You guys might have a good tipping round
We
this
might,
week.
actually. Okay, Gold Coast Titans and the Parramatta Eels at Seabus.
Titans at home, I think.
Titans.
But no Moses, so
Yeah.
that's a big out.
No Junior Paulo.
No?
And there's an outside chance that Brinson and Jaden Campbell will both come back in too.
Yeah.
So
Titans.
the Titans by a long way.
Yeah, I'm going Titans as well. By the way, you remember last week, before I forget, remember last week we talked at the end of the show for anyone to mark on our Facebook page if they watched to the end of the show?
Yeah.
No one did.
Yeah, but people have been telling us.
Yeah.
I don't know. Brad said he does. Steve
Zach.
said he does. Zach says he does.
Mm-hmm.
My dad said he did.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, let's go on to Broncos and the Dragons. Broncos
are
going to be
missing
without...
Reece Walsh,
Yep.
Carrigan, Payne Haas.
Yep.
Jock Madigan, Selwyn Cobbo.
Yep.
I'm actually, and the Dragons have no Ben Hunt or Zach Lomax.
Or Cherry... Oh, sorry, wrong team.
I'm going the Dragons.
Broncos.
Ooh.
Broncos for me.
Because I think the Broncos have got leadership. I don't think the Dragons have leadership.
See,
Without
Barry, I understand now why you like me, because I'm the only one with any common sense. The Dragons will win this, and they will win it well.
Yes. Barry thinks you're the only one with common sense as well. Manly Sea Eagles and the Knights.
Tom's back at one and captain.
No Cherry
Yes!
Is Olakau'atu on the reserves for
No.
the Origin?
No.
No.
So he'll be back.
Yep.
So you're only missing Cherry.
We're missing Ben, Cherry, Jake, and Kohler from the team that beat the Cowboys.
Who's going to be halves?
We picked a halfback. We let him sign with Souths because we wouldn't play him.
Humphreys, yeah.
Yes, and now we've picked him.
Good. That'll get him
Yeah.
used to first grade.
So I'm a bit worried. So we've lost Ben with HIA, we've lost Cherry, we've lost Jake, and we've lost Cooler with the MCL. That's tough. But they've lost Best, Gagai, Ponga.
Yeah.
Not that Ponga played, but
Sorry, Manly will win this.
Yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And another young junior makes his debut on the bench for us.
Which
Clayton
one?
Fulalo.
Hello.
Yeah, winger / fullback / centre.
And the
Very good
buys
player.
and the buys are the Raiders, Bulldogs, Storm, Cowboys, Panthers, Roosters, and Warriors.
Mm.
And that's only our second buy.
Have you had two?
No, this will be our second.
Oh, we've only had two as well.
Yeah.
How many have you had?
3.
Two or three.
All
He
of them.
said 3.
All of them. All of them. He got nothing
He
left.
spent.
Yeah, I know.
Basically
All of
said-
them.
Hey, listen. Last
just
year we
his
had all ours come at the end of it, and look what happened to our season. So
Yeah.
who cares?
Yeah. Yeah, so our position can't change because the teams above us are both all going to get a bye.
So
We got a massive for and against. 100 more than the than the Storm. This is next. Attack is good.
So, like I said to you last week, we are now sponsored by Breakthrough Organics.
Yes.
We are not. It's not yet open, but it's on its way. So we're just trying to get the name out there for them at this stage. You're trying to get it. Break my
I
sign.
don't know what he's doing. Wow, you are not an attractive cheer girl.
Yeah. You know what?
That's a good look though.
I'm actually not sure about a rooster holding that sign, but anyway.
Oh, and you've got a green and red.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they made it, could you comment on that?
Yeah, I bet you did.
I commented on that.
Please
greatly,
do it.
And I appreciated the effort they put into that.
Yeah,
As a sponsor.
packaging isn't green and red.
Anyway,
Well, I don't know. That's independent of me, Tom.
Oh, of course. Yes, that's right. Yes.
Okay. Anything you want to end the show with?
yeah, Tom this week, after having a week under his belt
I should
and
have said
playing
intelligent
fullback,
before you go on.
and playing fullback, his preferred position, Tommy is back, baby. Yeah.
Until he gets injured again.
He won't.
Jeez, I tell you what, he played like he thought he was going to get injured last week.
He
Yeah,
played like
he
he-
looked very tentative.
Oh, did he ever?
Yeah. It's a worry.
Tom?
Rads, look after yourself.
Where's he
hopefully
going?
be back. Oh, he's had an HIA,
Oh, okay.
category 1. And Jared, rooting for you tonight. At the Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh, yeah, it wouldn't be on yet. Okay. All right, well, thank you for watching. You're with Tom, Brian and Stephen. This is From the Sidelines, and we'll see you all again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.